nostalgia when you look at me.
Hidden costs are the unforeseen expenses added on to purchases. They can be minor, such as in the airline, or they can be major, such as the various closing costs added on when buying a home. Companies who are charging the hidden fees may be violating some federal and state consumer protection laws. Under several state laws around the country, consumers have the ability to recover damages if they believe the fees they were charged were deceptive or fraudulent in nature.
Now let's see the example of hidden fee. First is carry-on bag. Most airlines still let you bring one carry-on bag for free, but some don't. Granted, whether you have to pay for a carry-on bag typically depends on what type of ticket you purchase and the size of the bag. Second, reservation, cancellation and change of ticket. A number of airlines charge customers a fee to cancel or change a reservation, and these fees can range significantly. For example, American Airlines imposed a $200 change fee on paid fares for domestic flights and up to $750 for international flights, and Delta Airlines charged a $200 change fee for paid domestic flights and up to $500 for international flights. Meanwhile, Allegiant only charge each fee for up to $75 per person. Third, in-flight Wi-Fi. Some airlines offer free high-speed Wi-Fi to all passengers. However, most airlines charge customers for in-flight internet access. Some airlines charge a flat fee for the full flight, while others charge an hourly rate. Prices can also vary depending on whether it is a domestic or international flight. For picking a seat, once a free perk, many airlines now charge passengers a fee for selecting their seat in advance. Most passengers would like to sit near the window, hence they have to pay premium for a window seat or seat with extra legroom. 5. Meals and drink on board. Each airline has its own policy when it comes to food and drink on board. Some will offer free drinks and maybe even a light snack, while others will offer nothing at all unless you pay for it. Most long-haul flights are required to provide at least one meal to all passengers free of charge, technically included in the ticket price. But to be on the safe side, it is a good idea to double-check the conditions of your specific ticket. Seats, pillow or blanket. Some budget airlines now charge you for a pillow and blanket. That make you wonder if you get to keep them? No, you can't. Bring a sweater and maybe even a pair of pants if you bought the plane in shorts. Airplanes are rarely the temperature you want or expect, often swinging from sauna hot before take-off to ice cold once the engines start roaring. 7. Over the phone and in-person booking. It is typically free to book a flight online, but many airlines charge a fee for booking a flight over the phone or in person.
Effects of hidden fees in airplane ticket to consumers. The first is it will increase the cost of the flight, this might surprise customers if they are not stated clearly and vividly, resulting in customer discontent and falling services rate. The second is they didn't meet the expected budget. This clearly has an impact on the client's budget because the situation is not presented as clearly as possible. The last is the consumers will feel cheated. This greatly affects the relationship between the user and the airline. This is because they feel subtly deceived because this matter is not stated, and it even makes the company even more degraded in terms of its honesty and causes consumers to switch to the other airline.
Tadlis come from the Arabic word darasa, which meaning to conceal a flaw. Tadlis conceal the fault of the product from the customer even if he or she is aware of it. Tadlis have three types, which is Tadlis in quantity, Tadlis in quality, and Tadlis in price. that is in quantity. It arises when the vendor manipulates the quantity of goods. Okay, next is the that is in quality, which is arise if the seller of the products honestly fails to declare the condition of the product or conceal any product flaws. Last is that list in price, which refers to the selling without the knowledge of a buyer of product at a price greater or less than that of the market price. Okay, let's see the criteria from the that list that found in the online ticket purchases for airlines. There are numerous circumstances in which that list may happen. The first concern the flight ticket quantity. Actually, there are no that list in the amount of flying tickets. This is because the ticket details and the self of a buyer are detailed such as the number of the ticket and the personal information of the buyer when a client pays for the ticket online. Secondly, the airline ticket quality. It indicates that clients are charged extra fee during the airline ticket purchase and sale procedure. In a variety of instances, such costs include cancellation of airline tickets, seat bookings, and the baggage. The advertising price does not include any adjustment, but rather consumers have to add the service themselves. The additional cost charge impact the rise of the customer's ultimate amount during payment. Last but not least, the flight ticket price. Online advertising services provide the flight tickets. There is confusion in the ticket advertising, which is that the price is not permanently stated. Rather, the buyer has to pay some additional expenses. This is a number of concerns that have already been highlighted, mainly the quality of airline tickets. The price of the airline ticket additional increase with the client making the payment with the distinct charge flight.
How to avoid paying hidden fees in airplane ticket is firstly, we have a paper ticket fees, which is charges by airline for providing a paper ticket. What should we do is, we have to book our own ticket or print our own ticket on our own mobile service. Number 2 is direct ticket fees, which is airline charges for booking a flight on ticket counter or mobile phone. Number 3 is check bag fees, airline charges for checking any bags depending on airlines. So, what should we do with this is we have to pack light of our things, and also we have to use an airline that does not charging for any second or first bag. Number 4 is holiday charges, airline charges because we flying on the big holidays. So, what should we do is we have to plan it ahead before overnight or avoid flying on a big holiday. Number 5 is award ticket fees. Award ticket fees is charges by airlines because we are using their award points for a flight. So what should we do is, unfortunately, there is no such thing as a free flight. So we have to plan it ahead before the time.
The comparison between Malaysia Airlines and Hong Kong Express Airways from advertising aspect. Buying a ticket of Malaysia Airlines is said to be high involvement purchase decision. Consumers may be highly involved when the product is expensive and purchased infrequently. But the price that consumers pay is indeed the final price, which is no hidden fee at all. Every airline company in Malaysia has been restricted from adding hidden charge to consumers since May 2019. The Malaysia Aviation Commission, MAVCOM, the Chief Operating Officer said the days that airlines levying multiple hidden extra charges such as administrative and card payment charges on passengers has come to the end. If carriers continue imposing hidden charges, they can take action against them for violating the law. Hong Kong Express Airways advertised their company as low-cost airline company that mostly cheaper than other competitors. But little that consumers know, this airline charging low prices for the flight tickets while making their money back with many other fees. Once at the airport, some of the charges from carry-on to check bags to food to entertainment will pile up. The hidden fee that consumers need to pay later on sometimes can be higher than the ticket price itself.
In conclusion, users need to be careful in conducting transactions. This type of fraud is unfortunately becoming more commonplace. Consumers need to have knowledge regarding the hidden charges and should be aware of the price they are charged for any service and make sure they are not paying one or more hidden charges to those involved in the transaction, as it will impact an increase in the total cost and maybe even exceed the actual budget that has been planned. Thank you.